it's Ann Kaplan from me, your mama resource from conception to college, and I'm here with you guys today to talk about parent alignment. That is the word I'm choosing to use for this concept of like, I have to be on the same page as my parenting partner, whether it's your husband, your wife, your non-gendered partner, or if you're in a divorce and co-parenting or whatever. We have this concept that, like, in order for us to be effective as parents and our discipline strategies or whatever messages we're trying to give our kids to be effective, both parents have to parent the same. Both parents have to be, as my husband and I say all the time, a united front. And I want to help you guys move past this belief because I used to believe the same thing. In fact, that's why my husband and I have an expression, united front, because we constantly talked about being a united front and this concept of like, it's us against them. We have to present a united front to our children because we don't want them to divide and conquer us, as I have one client who likes to say. Oh, I'm fixing my camera right now. I want to bust a few myths for you guys about this. And the first myth that I want to bust for you is that it's even possible to divide and conquer us. So what do I mean by that? The myth I want to tell you, this false belief that we often have, is that someone else can undermine your parenting. And that doesn't have to be your parenting partner. It doesn't have to be a co-parent. It could be like your mother-in-law, grandma, lady down the street, person at the daycare center. We have this fear that other people who parent in a different way or discipline or give different messages to our kids are undermining our authority as a parent, or undermining the messages that we're giving to our kids. That's not true. There's millions of studies out there that show that the foundational connection that you have with your child is rock solid, and barring certain situations, your child is always going to be coming to you first and foremost for values, knowledge about the world, and all those things. Even in a situation where you have somebody else living in your home, like maybe a grandparent or something like that, kids still adopt first and foremost the messages that their mom and dad give them. So I don't want you to ever come at your relationship with your co-parenting person or your parenting partner from the perspective like this person is undermining my authority with my kid by contradicting me or not agreeing with me or not following the program or whatever parenting philosophy. So that's myth number one. Myth number two. The myth number two is that it's even possible for us to be on the same page, that it's even possible for us to parent the same. You guys, it happens all the time. Even if you have an amazing conversation with your parenting partner and you guys agree about everything, yes, we're going to use this one technique, we're going to do everything the same, we're going to say this when our kid does that, and these are the rules of the house, and all that stuff, you're still not going to parent the same for two reasons. One, because it happens all the time that you accidentally contradict what your co-parenting partner does. You didn't realize that they already said no and you say yes or whatever. Happens all the time. And the other reason, the very simple reason why it's not possible for you to be on the same page all the time with your parenting partner is that you're not the same person, you guys. You guys are different people. You're coming at your relationship and your life as a parent from different perspectives, from a whole lifetime of different knowledge and beliefs and fundamentals and all that stuff. And when the unexpected comes up, which as parents we know it always happens, and we're thinking on the fly, we're thinking as ourselves, we're thinking as our own authentic people, and sometimes that might mean that you react in a way that's different from your parenting partner. So it's not even possible for you guys to be on the same page. And that's okay, because myth number three that I want to tell you, and this is a myth that we accidentally are showing that we believe when we fall into this feeling of like, we have to agree, we always have to agree. What you're really saying is, my kid's an idiot. And why do I think that that's what that means? Because your kids are super, super smart, you guys. They learn really, really quick that when I'm at school, there's certain rules and certain behaviors that are expected from me, and they're different than what's at home. And if you have a child who's going through, who has two different families that they spend time with, I guarantee that they learn very, very quickly. This is how things work at so-and-so's house, and this is how things work at so-and-so's house. Or, oh, when I'm at my friend's house, these are the rules, and they're different than the rules at home. Your kids are really, really smart, and they learn that stuff right away. So when you think, we have to parent the exact same way or else our parenting isn't going to be effective and we're not going to be influencing our kids, what you're really saying is, my kid's too stupid to learn that this means this and that means that. And that's not true, you guys. That is a total myth. Your kids are really, really smart, and they will learn just the way everybody learns, that different things go in different situations, and that's okay. And the last myth I want to bust for you guys about being on the same page is that you even have to be on the same page. You don't. And I'm going to give you guys a perfect example of how this works in my family, okay? Mike and I do not agree about screen time at all. And we spent a long, long time fighting about it. And I would say all this stuff that would prove my side, which is that I don't feel like we should have screens at all, that they're evil, poisonous drugs. And Mike would sort of agree, he would agree with me in the conversation, but then he never would back me up with the way that he was enforcing screen time rules and all this stuff. And guess what, you guys, our kids learned really, really quick that if they wanted screen time, if they wanted help getting the screens to work, if they wanted to borrow a phone or an iPad or a computer, they ask Mike, they don't ask me. And you know what? I finally got to the point where I was like, that's okay. Actually, this is great. My kids know, for me, that I'm not into screen time. If they have fights over screens, if they have a problem with their screens, if they want extra screen time, they never ask me for that. And that's great, because that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get rid of screen time, was because I didn't want them to badger me about screen time. And you guys, guess what? Mike's life is riddled with questions about screen time, requests about screen time, whining about screen time, fighting about screen time. That's his situation that he's created for himself as a dad, and he's okay with it, and that's fine. It's none of my business. My kids' relationship with their father is a different relationship than they have with their mother, and that's okay. I'm okay with my husband having a father-child relationship that he creates on his own, not because I told him how to interact with his children. And I have that relationship with my kids too, and it's wonderful. And I don't think that my kids are harmed by that. I know they're not harmed by that. Now, that's a very simple example, and sometimes there's extreme examples. But what I want to talk about this week is not the extreme and unlikely examples that we can all think of when our kids are in danger or something like that. What I'm talking about is the constant squabbling that goes on between two parents when one of them says something that's not the reaction that the other one wants. What's far more damaging to your kids than being on two different pages or not being in alignment about parenting is constantly squabbling about parenting in front of our kids, you guys. Let your partner have their own relationship with their kids and find their own way as a parent, and you get to do that too. And you can decide for yourself how you want to be as a parent, and your kids are really smart and they're going to rise to that occasion. On Thursday, I'm going to talk to you guys more about how, okay? It's really great for me to sit here and bust some myths, but it's hard to implement, so we're going to talk about that on Thursday. And tomorrow, Wednesday, my baby mama day, we're going to be talking about this. When it comes to your birth plan, what about when your partner's not on the same page with you when it comes to your birth plan? It can be a big problem, right? I'm going to teach you guys a couple of things that's going to help you get on the same page a little bit and be okay if you're not 100% on the same page. I love you guys so much. I hope that's helpful for you. Keep tuning in all week long, because we're going to have tons of help for you guys on getting on the same page as your parent and being okay when you're not on the same page as your co-parent. Love you guys so much. Have a great week. Bye.